Well, here we are live with Dr. Ken here at Visible Music College. It's just me on Zoom here recording this with my good friend Terrian Bass. Welcome to Live with Dr. Ken.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we are very excited to talk to you today. Terrian was a student at Visible, and she's came out of Memphis here and got on some shows and got signed to a label deal, made some music. Check her out everywhere if you need to see a video that will inspire you and bring you life, Terrian Bass, Terr. I am Terrian.com, right?
Yeah, I am Terrian.com. Yeah.
And all the YouTubes. So, so you're, back as a student here at Visible, which is, I know that's a whole other thing. We're not really talking about that a whole lot today, but so I see you every week, but what we're talking about life on the road and what people might imagine life as an artist is on the road, and then what it's actually like. And so you're here to tell us the real deal. I have a few questions for you. Well, first of all, how's tour? You're actually on tour right now, right? So how's tour been going?
Yes, it's been going very well, all things considered. Obviously, it looks so different from years past, but it's been fun. It seems like people are excited to get back out, seeing live music. So yeah, we're just trying to do the best we can and serve people while we're at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is everybody in a plexiglass phone booth individually in the audience?
No, nobody's doing that. I do wonder, how does that work? Do you clean the inside of those things out every time? Right. If somebody's got COVID, they're spreading it all around the bubble. But
right. You think about the end of the day, it would just be all on the plexiglass and that wall or whatever, and you'd be like, I can't see you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, so just as the, as you go through all tours, pre-COVID were a little different, but some of the same things happen regardless when you're on the road. What's one of the things that people who have never toured might think that might get completely wrong in regards to what it's really like on the road? What's one of those things?
I mean, I hope people aren't super naive in regards to the glamour. It's not glamorous at all. If that's what you're expecting when it comes down to touring, you have yourself fooled. It's just because you never know what you're going to get in a venue. Sometimes the showers are a little sketchy and, but you need to shower. So just make sure you got shower shoes and all of that. But it's not as glamorous, it is, it can be hard on the crew and the management sometimes, but we just try to do the best we can with what we're given that day,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how far is it away from traveling with your family or camping or something like that? These showers sound scary. So
I've never been camping. Right there. That's something my husband's gonna have to talk me into doing someday, because I don't know. I grew up indoors. But yeah, if you've been camping and you're kind of used to being in interesting situations like that, I think you'll be fine with the venue shower if it's a little sketch, but if you're kind of, like we would call it, nice nasty growing up, if you're like that, then I think you'd be having a hard time out there in those showers. Yeah, they're not all bad, but sometimes it can be a little weird.
Yeah. Well, so I do this as an exercise with students. For 20 years, I've talked to them about touring life, just myself a little bit, and then about performing, being a live performer, and what that job is out there on the road. If you were working, let's say you have a 40, 50-hour work week like everybody else, what percentage of time would you say you spend on stage performing?
So this question definitely puts things into perspective, because I calculated it.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. It might be depressing.
Oh man. So I calculated, and it's only like 5 hours and 20 minutes technically that I work a week, you know.
That I work.
Yeah, like it's kind of like, oh, this is weird, which is why I'm back in school, because I got all that space like during the day, and I'm like, I got to do something with my life right now, like what is going on. So yeah, it's pretty chill if you're one of the artists and you're playing. But that's because also I sing with Toby, so his set is like an hour and a half every night. If you're one of the openers, you're pretty much like just chilling, you know, until you play your 25-minute set or whatever. So
yeah, they're like 2 hours a week, right? Like they're on stage 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so if you had a regular job, and you do have part of this regular job that you're getting paid to do is to sit in a van or trailer or in a bus for, you know, many hours a day as well. So like in a regular job, you're maybe 10 to 20% of your time max is spent like on stage.
On stage. Unless we have rehearsals, which those are like 12-hour work days for like 4 days straight.
Okay.
That only happens like once a year. We do a big rehearsal at the beginning of the year, and then that just kind of covers it all for the most part.
Okay.
But, yeah. And then also sometimes, well, last year I wrote during the day, like a couple times a week. So that helped fill up the time. And now that's school for me now.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just having a lot of rehearsal times and sitting around waiting, interviews, stuff like that. Think, you know, even that still, there's a lot of, I tell students, you know, you're going to need to spend time on your, you know, presentation to radio. You have to spend time on all the other things you're going to do, because performing on stage is one thing, but, you know, like you said, writing, coming up with merch ideas, I'm sure, you know, kind of, you know,
all the fun stuff.
Yeah, because it can get really, people forget how tiring it is to actually just travel, you know.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I feel like I can't even say that outright, because I think about our crew and like the management, you know, and how hard they work. And so anytime like there's an artist, like if I see an artist say something crazy, like just like don't complain, you know. But thankfully nobody complains pretty much on Hit Steep Tour. I think because we all know it's just like we're just going on stage at night. Like these people out here, like they're setting up the stage. They're working their butts off, you know, for us, you know, to have a safe and effective show. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, so you're married. And you don't have any kids, right?
No kids.
Married to one guy.
One guy.
So you and your husband, have you guys, what's something that you maybe made a deal about, like on tour here? Okay, bring me back something, or call me every night, or don't ever, whatever, or what, you know, anything you guys made a deal about?
It hasn't been anything that we've said specifically, but kind of just how we get down is like, if I can come home, I'm coming home, you know, on off days, which is a really big deal, because it's like, I the past 3 weeks, I had to stay out the whole time because of Snowmageddon that came out of nowhere.
Oh, right.
You know, so I just, you know, just like grateful for the times that I do just take advantage of going home. And usually that's like every week, unless I'm working on something where I have to stay in Nashville instead of come home. But that's a big deal for us. So yeah, just make sure we see each other.
That's good. Yeah. It's important. When I was on tour, they talked about the Navy wife syndrome. My wife was back home, and I'm like working all the time. The Navy wives are waiting for their person to come back, and then like you actually interrupt the flow of the house by coming back. And so getting back in that style, you know, just getting that thing together. But it's good to have the regular times. That's fantastic.
Yep.
What's a tip you would give a new artist, maybe how they would, or say they're still building it, and you're still building your career? I guess everybody always is, you know.
Yep.
What would you give a tip from the road about how to be around other artists?
be yourself. Let's just start there. Just be
Okay.
yourself. I don't think you have to put on this like weird persona in order to fit in, especially with the people I've toured with. They're just down to earth, you know. So if you're around them and they're talking about their career, listen, like observe, learn from them, learn from their experiences, and also watch how they function as a leader to their band, how they communicate with their label, their management, how they communicate with the crew, because a lot falls on that artist's shoulders, you know. So just be as observant as you possibly can. You know, it's not often that we get an opportunity to be around like so many big artists in one setting. And so my eyes are just like wide open. I'm just like learning and asking questions too when at the appropriate time as well, you know. So yeah, just all that, learn, absorb it all.
Yeah. And who's a real terrible person that you've toured? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. Nobody, of course. Yeah. But so what about? You may not have one, but my question's about: did you ever have a moment where you're like sort of a fan crush on, like, oh my gosh, I'm standing here with, like I was with Morgan Freeman when he was in the room at the Grammys. I was like,
right.
You know,
Morgan Freeman. So this happened a couple years ago, and I knew Justin Bieber would be at this festival that we were playing, but I did not know he was on our bus when I walked on. And so our tour manager was coming off, but he didn't tell me that Justin was on there. Right. And so I walk in and I was like, how's it going? You know, because I've been listening to Justin since like his YouTube cover days, you know, so this is like a really big deal. And I was just trying to be like as chill as I possibly could be, not be that person, you know, and not get in trouble. He's just like, why you come on the bus tripping when you saw him, you know? So I was just trying to be calm. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. That's funny. He probably was watching you to see, he probably turned around to watch you, see what you did when your manager was like, to see how you responded when you saw him. Well, he just left. Like he just walked off, and I was just like, I don't know, walk on. I was just super surprised. It was like, this is crazy, you know. That's funny. Funny. So you coming out with a new single with Justin? You guys got something working? My team's talking to his team. I'm just kidding. No collaboration with Justin Bieber in the works. Okay. Someday. You never know. Maybe so. He's doing Christian music, right? So maybe like he's open, you know. Yeah. We'll see. Well, one more fun question. How do you pack for a long trip if you're going to be on tour with all your rock star clothes, all that stuff? How do you pull it off? You know, I always overpack. So this is not an issue for me. That's just something my mom taught me growing up, because I always like went out of town for stuff, and she would just put a bunch of stuff in my suitcase. I still do that till this day, because I'm just like, you never know. Like, you get trapped in Nashville for 3 weeks. So, you know, so I just try and like have everything that I need with me. There's nothing worse than forgetting something that you need on the road. But yeah, overpack. How many iPhone adapters have you bought now on the road? I keep one charger. I'm simple. Like, I just keep one charger. Okay, that's good. Yeah, call it a day. Yeah. That's awesome. Have you guys done any like private jet travel, flight, you know, place to place? Been able to do that kind of tour at all, or? Well, we did do a private jet, but it was not because it was a good day. Like, we had to get from Canada to Nashville really fast because of Toby's son passing. But that was like, it was weird for the band, because it's like Toby knew, like, we were like, this is a dope jet, but at the same time, it's kind of like, this is a weird time. Worst day of his life, yeah. Yeah, and so he was like trying to break the ice, but, you know, for us, because he's like, guys, I know it's nice. You could take a picture if you want to take a picture of it, you know. But we were like, I don't know. But yeah, that's the only time the whole band was on a private jet, you know. Yeah. Well, that's like real family being together. That's cool. Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Anything else, any projects coming up you want to just kind of pitch for the dozen of people that are watching Live with Dr. Ken?
Well, I just released an EP that came out Friday, February 26th. So yeah, go stream and download that. It's called Genesis of Terrian, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, go get that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being on. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. Since you've been on tour, I hadn't seen you in person in a while anyway, but
yeah,
looking forward to seeing you back here in person. And thanks everybody for tuning in to Live with Dr. Ken. We'll be back next time with some great information about music industry, education, all that stuff. And check out iamterrian.com. See you soon.